Dreamers everywhere, welcome to the Julie and Disney podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Andy Zomerman.
I am the other one of your hosts, Al Day.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm going to turn the light on here.
Okay.
Look at that.
Wow.
I'm good.
All right.
It's Super Bowl Sunday, and you know what I'm not doing?
Watching the Super Bowl.
I am not, because I could care less about the Super Bowl.
It's Superb Owl Sunday.
It is. I was traveling last week.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
I was
right.
in a new environment with a bunch of colleagues from other universities. And I was sat at a table, and I had an experience I hadn't had in a very long time, where the end of my table was all football people.
No.
And everybody was talking about what was then the big game and who was going to the Super Bowl. And it was a 2-hour dinner where I had absolutely nothing to add to the conversation.
Sorry about that.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. Then, my husband is over at my brother's watching the game, and I've got a quiet place to record. So there you go. I'm totally okay with all
I've never
of this.
really gotten the whole football thing. So,
That's why we do this podcast.
So I don't have to pretend to like football.
No, it's just who we are. How was your Disney week?
It was good. I got a new collectible.
What?
That I love Funko Pops because I'm 12, and
Yeah.
I was ordering a very particular Funko Pop, which they have this whole series based on comic book covers, and they popped into my cart for free a PhilharMagic Mickey Mouse
Oh,
Funko,
that's awesome.
which was very cool, and I'm very excited to have it. I have friends who are at Disneyland right now who keep sending me pictures of the 100th anniversary merchandise.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about collectibles. People just don't get your vibe. So
Yeah.
everything they send, I'm like, oh, that's just so cheesy. I don't want it. Like, it's unless I'm there, like, I'm so hard to shop for because you cannot, my vibe is so specific.
I know.
But the Funko gets it. They gave me the PhilharMagic Mickey Mouse.
Funko gets it.
Funko gets me. Funko.
Oh my gosh.
Funko loves me.
Ed's all about the Funkos too, so we should have
How
a
about you?
Funko episode one day.
We should have a Funko
But that won't
episode.
be a very good podcast. That would be a better YouTube because we could
It's
on the
just look at
podcast
my
it's like,
Funko.
look what I got.
Look what
And then I got
This is
this
cool.
one. And then
This is
there's
awesome.
this
This is really
one.
cool. What about you?
all right.
How was your Disney week?
It was eventful, actually, very eventful. We're planning another trip to go see Annika, and
Are you going to be able to catch the Bright Line from Orlando?
the what?
The new subway that they just opened at the Orlando airport. It doesn't go to the parks yet, but I was very excited about it because I'm the kind of nerd who likes trains.
Well, we will be getting a car because we are also, again, taking Emma and her boyfriend, Fernando. I say we're taking them, but in reality, they're the ones that have all the discounts and the tickets. So are we taking them? Yes, we are. We're spending
So the
money.
master has become the pupil.
So we're going back, but the bummer is that since we went 3 times last year, all of our DVC points that we can use are gone. And so we actually have
First
to
world
pay.
problems, I got to tell you.
That
Are you
what?
going to first world problems? Are you
Yeah,
going to pay
no, that's what I'm
to
saying.
be on property? Because I know you can't deal with off property, but on property when you're,
I know.
to our listeners,
but
I
when the
scratch my head together in the universal symbol of that costs a lot of cash.
that costs a lot of cash, except when your children both work there, and then your discount kind of equals what you pay off property, which is still expensive. Don't get me wrong; it's still a lot of money, and we are staying at a moderate. So,
Oh, okay. I love the moderate I stayed at last time.
Yeah.
It was great.
yeah,
Way
I'm,
better than the Nugget.
well, I agree with that. Ed won't get his balcony, so he's pretty sad about that, but that's okay. He can find another place to escape us all. So that's good. And with both of the girls, they're having big Disney weeks as well. Annika went to preview Tron, the new Tron ride at the Magic Kingdom, so she was able to preview that. She and her boyfriend TJ are going to be able to come on soon and tell us about Tron. She wanted to go on it. She's been on it in the daytime. She thinks at night will be even better. So she wants to.
That's sort of the feature of the Tron's light cycle, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, it looks cool from what I've seen. So she's going to experience that this week, and then she'll get back to us and let us know how that is. So she had a big week, and then Emma, her week will be big tomorrow because the Super Bowl winners go to Disney. Because where are you going? No, you just won the Super Bowl. Where are you going? I'm going to Disneyland. And then they really do. And so there have to be people there
contractually they're like sort of required to. Yeah. Well, and I'm always curious. It's so weird what I pay attention to. I don't care about the actual Super Bowl itself, but I'm curious if they're going to say I'm going to Walt Disney World or Disneyland, and it usually depends on which one they're closer to. So I think this one will be Disneyland because they're in Arizona.
It is Disneyland. Yes, it is Disneyland, and they're ready. I think it's interesting to hear the planning that goes into it, because they don't know who's coming until tonight, until after the game. Yeah. So. Yeah.
I would imagine it's a football player of some type.
It will be. And they are already have asked whoever. So they know, I guess, if you win that you're going to be up all night.
This guy from this team, this guy from this. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun for her. I can't wait to hear how that goes. I'm sure it will be stressful, but maybe after the fact, she'll be excited about it. So that's good. And so, Disney week. But then, oh my God, so much Disney news this week. Like so much Disney news this week.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So much that I haven't been able to keep close attention. I know that there's some big corporate stuff, but go on.
Well, you have a real job that needs your attention. I have a real job that sometimes they're middle schoolers. I need something on my breaks to keep my mind off of the middle schoolers that just called me names or whatever. So Disney makes me happy. Except this week, Bob Iger announced that there would be 7,000 layoffs, which is sad for the 7,000 that are getting laid off.
Oh, absolutely.
Apparently happy for people who own stock because the stock went up after the announcement. So
capitalism, ladies and gentlemen.
That is capitalism at its finest. It won't affect the hourly employees or the employees at the park. They don't make anything anyway, so
right, yeah, that ain't going to save them.
Right. So we'll see. We'll see where that cleanup comes. Something that I'm
also the governor of Florida has taken over the Reedy Creek Improvement District.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Isn't that fun? It's so fun. How cool! How cool that he also gets to put 5 people of his choosing on the board. Of this new Reedy Creek.
How cool is it that he's such a protector of the First Amendment, since this is all in reaction to Disney saying something he didn't like.
Yes. Yes. Those lovely.
Welcome to the Politics and Disney podcast, everybody. We're just happy to talk to you today.
Welcome to I'm a Republican and I believe in small government. I'm a Republican and I believe in putting my people into the corporate. Private business. I can't even. Okay, so that is really bad. I will say that they're changing Reedy Creek. The name has changed already to Central Florida Tourism Oversight District, which is a really stupid acronym. How are you supposed to say that?
I mean, it's not like Reedy Creek was great.
Reedy Creek is great. There is a creek. Its name is Reedy.
Yeah, but if you're talking about acronyms, I'm just saying you're searching for something to hate is all I'm saying.
Central. Oh, there's a lot more to hate. It's not just the name.
I know. All
right. And in happier news, though, they are going to, Bob Iger announced they're going to put some sort of Avatar attraction into California
somewhere. And the big question is, where?
Where? I don't know.
Unless they're going to do like they did in Florida, except build the whole thing above another land. I don't know where there's any more space. Well,
don't they have place for a third gate?
I had heard rumors, but I don't know where it would go. I mean,
I thought it was kitty corner, like where you know what it is? That's where the Toy Story parking lot is. That's where the third gate stuff is.
I guess, but even, oof. I don't think Avatar is big enough for it. My distaste for Avatar is recorded, although I do enjoy the ride and the area at Walt Disney World.
Pandora's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I just don't feel like it's a timeless property that, I saw the movie Avatar once when it came out. I went, meh. The new movie's been out. I have had zero desire to go see it. I know it's making a lot of money.
I know.
I just don't feel the Disney magic as it relates to Avatar. But great rides. Great land.
Yeah. Nah. I don't know. We'll see.
But again, this goes back to our core difference, whereas you are just very, very park-centered. I'm very movie-centered, and I'm like, if the movie wasn't good, I don't particularly have a drive to go ride the ride.
I like the idea of Avatar. Mm-hmm. I like the idea of conservation and saving the earth and the idea behind it. So yeah. I don't know. I really like
totally forgot that was the thing in the movie, quite honestly. You know why? The movie is incredibly forgettable. I'm all for those things as well. Yeah, they should make a movie about those things.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. They should make an entertaining and memorable movie about those things.
There's a lot of people that thought Avatar was entertaining.
Hey, it was the #1 movie of all time for a really long time. I saw it. I literally forgot it the moment I walked out the door. Right. I remember being like, "Oh, those 3D effects are pretty cool. Let's go get some tacos, everybody. Tacos."
Oh, well, that's what's going on as of Superb Owl Sunday. So, we'll see what's coming up. I'm sure, just like so many new things ever since Bob Iger came in, and I'm following Florida pretty close too. I don't know about that guy. Okay, so last time we talked about the 5 things that we miss most about our childhood or what used to be at Disneyland. That's not Disney, not just Disneyland, Disney parks and Disney movies.
This podcast Disney is about more
entertainment.
Andrea.
Yes. Don't use my full name. You're not mad at me. Unless you're mad at me. My mom. Andrea Dawn.
There's always at least 10%.
Well, okay. Yeah. All right. So, so then you had the great idea. We should do a top 5 of things that we're happy that are at Disney that weren't there when we were kids. So what's your first?
Okay. So my first is very much tied into, and this is going to be a controversial first because a lot of people really don't enjoy this. But for me, it's one of those things that when you take the big picture, it's really cool because it really changed sort of how I approach the park, and it sort of night and day my experience at the park. And so my first thing is the combination of fast passes and virtual queues, which is I really don't wait in lines at the park anymore. Mostly the fast pass and Genie Plus it is now.
Wow, so you like Genie Plus?
I do, but specifically for the what remains a fast pass, because if you think about it, before fast pass, a day at the park was what are the 5 attractions we're going to visit, because each one is going to be a 2-hour line wait. And I think with the coming of the various names for it, fast pass, Genie Plus, virtual queue, it costs money. Sure.
Yeah, but virtual queue is different than Genie.
It's very different than Genie. But what I'm saying is all of them are ways in which I don't have to wait in a long line.
Yeah.
And so I'm a big fan of those. And they definitely, when we used to go in college, it was just, we're going to wait. We're going to ride the 5, maybe 6, maybe 7 if we could squeeze on Space Mountain once more before it closed. And the ride per trip, the attraction per trip, is way higher than it used to be. So like I said, I know this is controversial, as will be my #1 pick, but I think it has improved vastly for a cost my experience at the park, because just waiting 2 hours in the heat in Anaheim in the summer.
That's why you don't go in the summer.
Yeah, but now I can.
I don't know. Okay, fine.
Don't you judge me.
That's why we're dueling. We are dueling Disney.
I think it's an improvement.
You're wrong.
It is a costly improvement.
Ugh.
So you want to go back to the days where there's no way to do that, and it's just everybody.
No, I want to go back to the days of the free fast pass. That's where.
Sure. So do I. Like that, the fast pass would be the best.
That's what I want.
It's from when we were, the
the
whole thing from before there was anything. This is way better.
Okay. All right. I'm going to we've said this on the show before, and this time I'll put it in a link because I think everybody needs to watch Defunct Land's the history of the Fast Pass. If you are a Disney fan, or even if you're not a Disney fan,
if you just are a nerd like me who likes to know how systems and structures work,
it's amazing.
Yeah,
I love it. So Defunctland is the channel on YouTube, and he did the history of Fast Pass, which I love it. Are there YouTube awards? There must be, right? He needs.
There's Webby Awards. There's
okay,
YouTube
what do I know?
itself gives things. I mean,
I still forget that YouTube is like an entertainment channel. Like people, like the kids will watch YouTube like we watch TV.
I would say these days, a good 50% of my TV watching is for YouTube.
I know, and I forget because it's just not. I mean,
well, and part of it is I think most people watch it like younger than me, younger than us, watch it on their computers exclusively.
Yeah.
And I just connect it to my TV, and that's just
That's
and when I travel, all my iTunes movies are connected to my YouTube. So if I want to watch a movie in a hotel room, it's great. I love it.
That makes sense. Makes sense. All right. Well, cool. On those lines, I'm not a Genie Plus fan at all, but I will say that I love the Disney app, the My Disney experience. It's a little bit different at Disneyland and Disney World, but I still love it because we used to go plan like spreadsheets of all the things we wanted to do and when we wanted to do them and all that kind of stuff. And My Disney experience for me, I just love how everything is an agenda right there on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it's great. I love just being able to pull up.
And you're definitely a planner. Like for me,
day.
I don't use that. I don't even use that feature. And I know, like for you, that's like ideal.
Yeah, it totally is. I love it. Anytime I make a reservation, anytime I have a Fast Pass or Genie Plus or whatever coming up. But also, I love everything about it. And you can put your own things in there too. So you can say, oh, today's the day we were going to go shopping. You can put that in there and then that comes up. And I just love it.
And I think I can see the appeal. I think for me, and it's this is admittedly a dumb response that is purely an Al is an idiot response. My aversion to it is you can't tell me what to do.
Yeah,
that is my entire aversion to.
Except I always do.
Yes.
When we go to Disney, I am the one that tells you what to do.
How many times do I say to you can't tell me?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. You think I learned my lesson. I haven't.
No. God, no.
All right, fine. What's your next one?
I think that's a good one. Okay, so here's the other thing. My next pick, I think, really reinvigorated this part of the parks experience. And I promise not all my picks are from the parks, but most of them are from the parks. But this reinvigorated this part of the parks experience for me. And it was better, quite honestly, when it was under, and it's coming back, when you got all your PhotoPass features, when you had an annual passport. It's coming back. But the PhotoPass, not just the PhotoPass pictures, but the special pictures where you hold your hand out and there's like Mickey there, or what is that super, which I still haven't managed to get, that super long distance magic photo that you can do at some of the parks. I think those are really cool.
They're called magic shots.
Yeah, the magic shots. I think those are such awesome additions to the Disney experience. Like, I just think of when we went with my nephew for the first time, and we have a picture of all of us, and he's got Tinkerbell in his hands, and that's just really cool.
It is cool.
And so it's one of those things that's like the extra added special piece, and they didn't, at least for those photos, didn't really charge more for them. If you are a D23 member, you have special photo thing. Like, there's all these cool special photos that aren't just, hey, here's a picture. It's a picture with a cartoon character, which, quite honestly, you know me, I'd prefer a picture with a cartoon character than a picture with a costume character. I just think those are awesome. I think it's such a great new addition to a Disney park experience. And I honestly think kids, and I count myself among them, kids really respond to like the magic of it when you can show them a picture and go, look, Tinkerbell's right in your hand. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, my second one, actually, I'm going to take what you said, but even go further back in history, because from when we were kids, I'm happy that Disney PhotoPass is a thing, So 2004, I think, was when it started to pilot at Walt Disney World, where there were photographers everywhere, and you had a little card that you would get scanned every time you wanted your picture taken.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it was, and so I remember in 2004, I remember a photographer explaining it to us, and he's like, "Okay, here's your card. Then you go wherever you go, Disney World, you get it scanned, and then you can look at all your pictures at the end." So I still had to go and look. But that photographer told us wrong information because it was still being piloted and it wasn't good for all over Disney World. Yeah. It was only good for whatever park you were in that day.
Oh, and so you were using,
when we went back to get our photos, there were none. And I was like heartbroken. Now, Disney being Disney was amazing. And we got our own little cast member to take us. We were like VIPs for a couple of hours where they got special shots for us. So we didn't have to wait. They were really nice.
That's super cool.
But yeah, I'll never forget that. And so now I know when it piloted, but I do love, I think PhotoPass is a genius way to remember the vacation. And yeah, Disneyland and Disney World charge, the pricing is different and the way you get the photos is a little bit different, but I like the idea. And so I'm glad.
And I love, particularly because now everybody carries an instant photo studio around in their pocket. So they had to figure out a way to sort of make it special.
Yep.
I also love the fact that you just don't worry about it now. So, and then, an hour after you take a picture, it's on my phone and I don't have to sort of pay for, okay, do you want an 8x10, which was like every theme park trip when we were kids, right?
Totally.
And that was just another way they gouge you. Or do you want the little thing where you can look and see all that kind of stuff? I just think it's great. And I love, because I don't really print pictures out too much anymore.
Right.
I have like a digital photo frame that's next to my bed and it's really cool. I love it.
Yeah. I remember it was like $30 for an 8x10 if you wanted a ride photo, right? And gosh, memories.
All right. Memories. Yes, memories.
Okay. You're up again.
I'm up again? So you did photos as well. So you
PhotoPass, but the actual being the PhotoPass, not just the magic shots.
Yes. Okay. So here's mine. And mine is a bit of a cheat because it's a little bit aspirational for my favorite park, but it definitely is already something that exists and that I have enjoyed when I was in Florida. And I know they probably can't do it because it would be such a major change for Disneyland, but they've managed to do a version of it at DCA, which is seating for Fantasmic and World of Color. So if you've only been to Disneyland and you've watched Fantasmic, it's great. It's fine. You stand, or if you're lucky, like we were able to do once, you sit and watch the show, and it's great. But at Walt Disney World correct me if I'm wrong, Disney Studios,
Hollywood Studios, yeah.
Hollywood Studios has a purpose-built Fantasmic amphitheater where there's seating, and you get to sit down and enjoy watching Fantasmic. And at 53 years old with a bum hip, seating when I watch a nighttime water and fireworks show is so choice if you have the means. And I know at DCA it's still standing, but there are options to pay for like seating along with dinner and things of that sort. It's not quite what I would like, but it's really cool. But the ideal situation exists in Florida, which is purpose-built seating for Fantasmic, and I love it. It's because and I love Fantasmic as long as it's existed, but there's times where I just won't go because I'm like, I don't want to stand for an hour and then have to stand through the show and then have to wait for the crowd to disperse. It's such a pain, and I love the show. And so at Florida, like, oh my gosh, the experience of Fantasmic at Florida is like 1,000% better. I love it.
I know. And I will say I used to not like the Florida show as much as I like the California show, but now I'm like, they changed it and I'm like, I love it. I love the Florida show. So now I love the Florida one better. I mean, it's a whole experience.
It's a whole experience, and it's a relaxing, enjoyable experience. Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, Fantasmic at Disneyland, I love. It still gives me those goosebumps every time I see it. but then my knees hurt and my hips hurt and my feet hurt. And it's
we're
hard
old, man.
We're all, well, and here's the thing. It's hard to then do anything else after Fantasmic, right? Like after I've spent the 2-hour commitment of standing for Fantasmic, I'm kind of like, I gotta go now. I gotta hobble back to my hotel and ice the bottom half of my body. So, Florida's got it unlocked, and you know how hard it is for me to say Florida has something better. Florida's got.
I know they did it better.
They just did it better.
My next one is something that they've done better too, and I wish they would have done this at Disneyland when Florida started it years ago, which is magic bands. I just think that magic bands are amazing, and Florida started it way long ago. I mean, Disneyland just started it, and they started it not with the free version, but with the version you have to pay for, which had special effects that just started. I mean, Disneyland is so
if you
far
listen
behind.
to our episode about the Magic Band, my experience of it was not worth it at this point until such time as they get. I
think I heard that they started the interactive stuff already.
But even the payment stuff for me is half of it, and the hotel.
Everything. Oh. I just want my Magic Band. I love my Magic Band. I love that it does everything. I love that I just hold up my wrist to open my hotel room or pay for something or my fast pass.
It's so convenient in Florida. Yeah. I love Magic Band in Florida.
And
it's so funny because by the time I started using Magic Band in Florida, you all had already stopped because we were done with it.
But I still like it. And my phone, I mean, it's great that they have on their phone, you have the same opportunities as you do with Magic Band. So you can just show your phone to do all of the things I just said, except that sometimes my phone won't work on the hotel door.
Right. And my thing with the phone, and this is true not only at Disney, but whenever it's a phone option, is whenever I have a thing where I have to use my phone a lot during the day, then I worry about my phone dying, which is one of the other reasons I like the Magic Band, which is
I love that.
Then I don't have to keep pulling my phone out.
Yeah, no, I'm still a Magic Band fan, and I do not like paying for them. I liked it when you got it with your vacation. I mean, you paid for it in your vacation, I should say, but I don't need the special effects. Everybody loves them, and that's great, but I don't need them. I just like my old Magic Band that does the stuff I need it to do. So Magic Bands are terrific. I'm sorry that Disneyland did not jump on the Magic Band train when Disney World did years ago.
And here's the thing: the infrastructure's there, especially now. It's there. But I'm so annoyed.
I know. Sorry.
And here's the thing: next time I'm going to Disneyland next month, I'm going to use my my Magic Band for the things I can use it for. Whatever.
No, I think that I heard that the interactive stuff was there, so you'll have to.
I'll have to try it again, and I'm only going because I'm going for WonderCon, so I'm only going to be able to go.
Oh, that's right.
A couple hours during the time I'm there, and that's assuming that I can walk. But I'll try and bring back a report of the upgraded Magic Band uses. Am I next?
Yes.
Okay, so my next, I'm very proud of. And I know how you'll feel about it. I know how our listeners will feel about it because the anytime I hear from our listeners, it's on this topic, and I don't care because I will die on this hill. The thing that's there now that didn't used to be there that just makes it all better.
Oh my God, I know what you're going to say. Oh.
Starbucks coffee, ladies and gentlemen. Starbucks.
Oh my God, I cannot believe that was it.
Halfway through the day to pick me right back up. Little caramel latte, maybe a honey citrus mint tea, just to pick me up. Look, when we were young and you wanted to get a cup of coffee, a little bit of caffeine to get you through the day, you had a choice of either Coke or a cup of black coffee.
We didn't have Starbucks when we were young.
That's my point. Is Starbucks not better than a hot cup of black coffee from Disneyland in 1989?
Which was probably like syrup coffee.
Yeah, it was just like, and actually I'll put it as a part of a bigger piece, which is not only that Starbucks, but the thing that is there now that didn't used to be there is, and this is specific to Disneyland, although I think it's true at Disney World too from my last trip, the food options are infinitely better than they used to be. I now can go to Disneyland and just get really good food from morning till night if I want it. And I can also get a churro and a corn dog and all that.
Yeah.
The food at Disneyland and DCA is so much better than it used to be when we used to go. Like, I've always loved Disneyland, but I never used to rave about the food.
Do you think it's because when we were young, we couldn't afford the good food?
You know what? Here's the thing. When we were, here's the perfect example. They had the Dole pineapple whip. I love the Dole pineapple whip. You know what I really love? The raspberry
one.
And whatever the other rotating flavor is usually amazing. Like, I think they had a cherry one the last time I was there. So I've always gotten the whip, but now I've got options, and they are amazing options. And they have a float, which they didn't used to have. I think the food's better. I think categorically the food's better.
All right. That was your fifth one?
And fifth one? There was one particular trip I didn't really need to worry about the cost of food because somebody else was paying for my meal at the food. Yeah.
Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, was that your fifth?
That was my fourth. Because that was
your fourth?
Yeah.
Wait, one? Oh, that was, yeah. I thought I said something and I didn't. Oh, okay. So that wasn't your fifth. Now I have to pick my fourth. I have a lot here, just in case you pick something that I picked.
Yeah.
But I have to go for...
Then why did you double up on my PhotoPass, huh? What's that about?
I didn't. I'm telling you that I like PhotoPass in general. You were talking about the magic shots. Two
that's true. I love the magic shots. Things. I love the magic shots.
Completely different. What should I pick next? Okay. You probably have this one too, but I love it. I love this. Disney, this is like the best thing you did to add to my Disney vacation, and that is mobile order.
Oh my God. I don't have it. I should have had it. It's the best.
Mobile order is the best.
I know we're supposed to disagree, but you nailed it on that one. Oh, mobile order is awesome.
It really is. I love mobile order. I love being able to hand my phone around to the different family members and say, put in what you want.
Here you go.
And you can set your time. Mm-hmm. So, like, we want to eat after this ride. How long is this ride going to take? Okay, let's put it there.
I love that I'm like, okay, let's go find a table first.
Oh, yeah. And then put it in, yeah.
Yeah, it's the best.
I love it. I
love that you can make the adjustments, the little adjustments that you could.
Yes.
I never used to ask for adjustments at Disneyland. It's just going to come the way it comes.
On the side, that's very big with her.
Well, and now I might get food from two different restaurants if I'm with a group, right? Like if you're at the Tropical Hideaway, I might sneak over and get Bingo Barbecue because I can just mobile order and we're all sitting in the same place.
I know.
Mobile order is awesome. I'm jealous that I didn't think of that.
When you mobile order the Dole Whip, but everybody else is in line and you just walk up and get your whip.
Oh, it's so best. It's the best. It's the best. And you're just like, oh, excuse me. It's like Wayne and Garth doing backstage.
Yeah. Backstage pass. Excuse me. Pardon.
And I love mobile order because I can be like, okay, I'm going to get my Dole Whip right before we go into the tiki room. And the whole time I'm going to double tiki it because I'm going to be in the tiki room eating a whip.
I love mobile order. It would have been that would have been great if the kids were little and we had mobile order and we could just figure it all out right there rather than sitting there, reading them the menu in line. Mm-hmm. What do you want? Do you really want chicken nuggets again for the 18th time? Or
while I'm standing behind you going, just get something.
I know. Yeah, mobile order is the way to go.
Oh. I'm so jealous I didn't come up with mobile order. I know we're supposed to disagree, but you hit the nail on the head with that.
Okay, I was right on that one.
Okay, my fifth and final one. I'm going to opine for a little bit because I feel like in our modern era, there are many things that we take for granted that didn't exist literally moments ago, and all we do is complain about them because they're not good enough. Okay. It's like there was I can't remember the comedian, he talked about how the first time he got on a flight and they had internet, and then 5 minutes into the flight, the people said, oh, the internet's not working, and everybody was really pissed. And he's like, 5 minutes ago, you didn't even have it. You didn't even know it existed. And I have spent a fair amount of time, and this isn't Park Space, I have spent a fair amount of time complaining about this on this podcast, about the things that are and aren't there. But when you take a step back and think about the fact that Disney Plus exists.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
All I've got to do is sit in my living room and say, you know what? Remember Pollyanna? Remember Merlin Jones? remember all those like science movies that they used to do on the Disney Friday night movies? Hey, I wonder. Yeah, they do. Yeah. I think the fact that Disney Plus exists, think about how many times in the 80s you went down to your local video store, pre-Blockbuster days, and came home with a stack of white clamshells.
Yeah.
Right? And that was your weekend, right?
Yep.
And how many times you would be like, okay, set the VCR because there's this thing coming on and I want to keep it. And my brother is like, okay, but I want that one. Where's that tape? Right? Where's the DVD for Fantasia 2000? I have the box set of Fantasia 2000, Fantasia, the original, and the extras. And one of those discs is gone now. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, but you know what? If I want to watch Fantasia, it takes me 30 seconds. I think it's one of those things. It's living in the modern era because we have access to all media all the time. We forget, even people our age, how it was 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. If you wanted to watch a Disney movie that wasn't like the main thing, if it was just, I don't know why Merlin Jones is in my head. If it was just Merlin Jones or Pollyanna, you know, if it was Follow Me Boys, right? How much work it would be. You 5 years ago, if I wanted to watch Follow Me Boys, I'm just not going to watch Follow Me Boys. It's not there.
I know.
Now, 30 seconds.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. I remember how excited we were, and you can go back on this podcast because we had episodes about how excited we were that there was something coming called Disney Plus.
Right.
And now I can't imagine life without it.
Right.
And that's only a couple of years.
Yeah. And I when I complain about it, I'm like, oh, I can't believe they have don't have the bear cartoons. And don't get me wrong, Disney, get those bear cartoons on there. But like, remember when they came out with the list of the movies that they and the stuff that was gonna be, and I couldn't read the whole list. It was so much stuff.
Yeah.
And I know they lost a lot of subscribers recently, but come on, like everything you would ever think of, the most minor Disney feature, short, whatever, except the story of menstruation, is on Disney Plus. And you can find that on YouTube.
I think it'll shake itself out. I think that, that was in this latest Chapek Iger thing. That was what lost the most money. That was the cost, these 7,000 jobs or whatever, and all this stuff. So, but the idea of Disney Plus is still amazing. And again, I know I just said this 2 minutes ago. We literally were like, I could go back on the episode list and just find the things we were, oh my gosh, this is coming. I can't.
And I'll be honest, I still get that way because every once in a while I'll just go randomly flip through Disney Plus and I'll be like, oh my God, the computer wore tennis shoes?
Yeah, I need to actually spend more time flipping through like you do and just to see the old stuff on there. When I go there, I usually have a purpose for why I'm going rather than just flipping through and seeing what's there. I need to flip through and see what's there. Maybe I'll do that today while Ed's celebrating this superb Owl Sunday.
2 weeks ago, my brother and I on a Saturday, I was cleaning the house and we were just goofing around and I was like, put on the Muppet Show. And we watched 14 episodes of the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, pretty funny show.
The Muppet Show, watching it as an adult, just watching the filming of it with shadows and it's just so funny.
It's such a funny show. And there's so many jokes you just didn't get when you were a kid.
I know. That's for sure. That's for sure. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Do you have a last one?
I do. And two of my things were food related, the mobile order, but then also in addition to the mobile order, one of the things that I'm loving
Starbucks,
is
right?
No. I say I don't love Starbucks being there, but guess where the longest line is?
Every
all the time. And guess where we go? First thing, all the time. So I know I'm a hypocrite. I love dining reservations, both on the app. Well, the whole dining process, I should say, on the app. It still sucks that you have to wake up however many days before to get the big restaurants. But I like that you can look at all the menus all the time. all over the park. You can make these decisions beforehand. Yeah, some of the high ticket, e-ticket restaurants are hard to get, and that's fine. But
remember, we used to have to go to the restaurant.
You used to have to go, and there weren't as many restaurants.
Right.
I mean, at least in California. Well, yeah.
There's Blue Bayou.
That was, though, Cafe Orleans, Plaza Inn has been there from the beginning of time. Carnation has been there since the beginning of time. So I guess there were quite a few, but I appreciate the process. So like you are with Jeannie and not having to wait for rides. For some reason, I'm more patient when I'm waiting for a ride than I am for a meal. I don't like waiting for a meal. I hate standing around.
Yeah, I've been with you when you're hungry. It's not pleasant.
Which is all the time. So that's one of the things I actually appreciate nowadays that they didn't have when we were kids too. So.
Well, and when we were kids, I don't know that we worried about like eating. We just sort of said, I'm hungry now.
I know, which is probably why I only thought there were burgers and fries because that's all we went to get.
Right. And again, I didn't go to Disneyland as much when I was a kid as you did. But so I'm thinking more of like college years. But I just remember being really frustrated around getting something decent to eat that wasn't like, I just remember, I remember specifically on grad night being like, oh, this is a really expensive hamburger for a not very good hamburger.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. I know. So many good options now. Like you said, but yeah, I really appreciate having all the menus.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the dining reservations, I think that I know, 30 days. Like I was looking because I'm going to be there again at the end of next month. And I was like looking at reservations and I didn't make any, but I was like, okay, I know kind of what's open and what I can sort of plan on and stuff like that. Because it's going to be post hip surgery. I'm still waiting to see sort of what my mobility looks like then, but I'm still going to have to eat.
That's true. But I'm even thinking of all the restaurants that we found because the high ticket ones were booked. You know what I mean? And we found some like favorite places because of that.
Yeah, so, I mean, so here's the example. On my 50th birthday, we went to
Carthay Circle.
Carthay Circle, which I probably wouldn't have been on my radar, and it's probably my favorite sit-down restaurant.
I know
any of the parks at this point.
Yeah, super good.
Super good. Yeah. Really nice atmosphere. The food was great. Like, I love Carthay Circle.
Well, like I said, we're going back in Disney World. We're going back in a little bit, a couple months. And I'm already like that's the thing. I get giddy and happy like every time like I haven't been before. I'm like, oh, let's research everything.
It's like,
not that I wasn't just there a couple months ago.
Walt Disney World. I wonder if there's things that I can do ahead of time. I mean, I do think, and this might be a good topic for a future podcast, I do think, knowing you as I do, that is part of the enjoyment for you, is the planning of it, right? Like, is okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this, and we're going to do this.
Yeah,
because it totally I know you very much like to maximize your day and accomplish right?
I do, but I also like to rest, which I book into the day.
Right. No, but that's part of I think that's part of your enjoyment, right? Like for me, part of the enjoyment is showing up and seeing what's like. I love wandering around Disneyland with no particular purpose because I'm weird. I could just sit on Main Street and dig on Main Street for like 3 hours.
I like doing that too. I just have to plan that's what I'm going to do. Today is my wandering around and do nothing.
Spontaneity has its time.
And place. We can't talk to each other without movie quotes, if you haven't noticed. All right. Well, now that we told you R5, we want to hear from you, especially if you are not yet a community duelist. Make sure that you join our group on Facebook. This is where we talk and ask questions, and it's more of a community to share back and forth. We'd love to have you join us there. Actually, I just asked a question this morning about Port Orleans Riverside. If you've been to Port Orleans Riverside, I want some of your opinions. So make sure you join our group there on Facebook. You might be watching us on YouTube. Thank you very much. If you are, please leave a comment or subscribe to our channel. There's a button. And last time I pressed the wrong way, but if you're watching the bottom, it's on the bottom right, and there's a little button that says subscribe. So you can press that. But we are on all the podcast stuff. We're at duelingdisney.com. You can find us on Facebook or Insta at Dueling Disney or hashtag Dueling Disney, and we'll find you. And then wherever you listen, please share a review for us.
We're now steaming back to our own time and to Main Street Station, gateway to Disneyland. If you'll be leaving us here, stay in your seat till we come to a full stop. We sure hope you've enjoyed your travels with us and that you'll come back and see us again real soon. Thank you for visiting Dueling Disney.